Bhagavad Gita 10.15 Swayameva-atmanatmanam vetha tvam purushottama bhutabhavana bhutesha devadeva jagatpate. Arjuna is speaking to Krishna here and he says Swayam eva atmanatmanam. You, O Lord, Swayam eva atmanatmanam. By yourself, in yourself, you alone know yourself. Vetha tam purushottama. You are the supreme person, O Lord, and you alone know yourself. You are so great. This is a continuation from the previous verse. The previous text stated that no one knows Krishna, that Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim Vidur Devana Danavaha, that even neither the Danavas nor the Devatas know Krishna. Then who knows him? Here it is said, you alone know yourself, O Lord. Swayam eva atmanatmanam vettam purushottama. You are the supreme person, Purushottama. This word Purushottama will be especially stressed in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, wherein Krishna will speak about the two Purushas. Of course, he will introduce in 13th chapter itself. The 15th chapter is called as Purushottam Yoga. So Purushottama, best person, the supreme person. So you, O supreme person, you alone know yourself. And he further describes that supreme person, Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jagatpate. So total there are 5 describers here to refer to Krishna. First is Purushottama, then there is Bhuta Bhavana. You are the source of all of existence, of all living entities, and indeed all of existence. Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Bhutesha. Oh Lord, you are the controller of the universe, of all living things. Again, Bhut can mean all living beings, Bhut can mean existence also. So Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha. Now somebody may ask that, oh, but there are devatas who are supposed to be the controllers. So what about that? Deva Deva. Yes, the devatas are controllers, but you are the controller of the devatas. You are supreme. Deva Deva. You are the god of the gods. Jagatpate. You are the master, the lord of the universe. So with these 5 describers, Arjuna reiterates and restresses the supremacy of Krishna, the paramount position of Krishna, which he had stated in 10.13 and 10.12 and 13, where he has stated Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum. So we see some of the similar describers. Adideva, here it is Deva Deva. So there the superiority of Krishna as compared to the Devatas is stressed in terms of chronology and origination. Adideva, you are the oldest god, the primeval god. Here it is Deva Deva. Here it is talked about in terms of the position, not in terms of chronology, but in terms of ontology, in terms of existence. You are greater than them because you are their Lord. So what the Devatas are for you, you are for them. Sorry, what the Devatas are for us, Krishna is for the Devatas. That Devatas are worshipable for us, but Krishna is worshipable even for the Devatas. So is Deva Deva. Of course, Krishna is worshipable for us also, but this is clearly the Bhagavad Gita is not teaching polytheism It is polytheism is the idea that there are many gods. Bhagavad Gita does talk about a worldview where there are many gods, but the many gods are not each god being independent controller of its own independent of his or her own independent turf. Yes, they have all their territories, but all those territories are under the jurisdiction of the Supreme Lord. He is Deva Deva. So polytheism is the idea, we could say it's something like, roughly speaking, if we consider a continent, it has different countries within it, and it has different heads of a state for the continent, for each country in the continent, and in that sense each head of state is having their own territory marked out, and often they may fight among each other to try to extend their turf. But the Bhagavad Gita's understanding of the role of the various gods is something like the chief ministers chief ministers of various states within a country. That means they have their own turf, they have their own jurisdiction, but they are all under the prime minister or the king or whatever it is, who is the head of state. If you consider the Indian polity, then we'll see that the devtas are under Krishna. He's Deva Deva. So the universal administration is more like that of a country than of a continent. In a continent, the different kings, different heads of state are more or less independent, having control jurisdictions, sovereignty over their own turf. Whereas in the case of a country, the heads of the states, the heads of the provinces or the chiefs of the states, they have their control, but they are all under the prime minister. Of course, if we have a federal head structure or we have a federal state structure, then the prime minister may not have too much control over the heads of state or over the chiefs of various states. But it is not like that in the cosmic administration. So that's why another example that could be given to illustrate this is that a prime minister with a set of cabinet ministers. So the cabinet ministers have their portfolios, and along with their portfolios, the Supreme Lord has his own, they have their portfolios and they have control over those portfolios, but they are all under the Prime Minister, and they are accountable to the Prime Minister, they are subordinate to the Prime Minister, and their authority does not challenge and certainly does not usurp the authority of the Prime Minister. And of course, this particular example, either of the heads of state under the heads of specific chiefs of specific states under the head of the whole country, or the prime minister, the cabinet ministers under prime minister, both of these don't convey one point, that they basically talk in terms of the governmental managerial structure of the universal government, but they don't talk so much about the point that Devatas themselves are also not just managerially under the Supreme Lord, but actually they are also meant to be devoted to the Supreme Lord. Because all living beings are ultimately parts of Krishna, and all living beings are meant to be devoted to Krishna. So, to the extent that souls in this world can be devoted to Krishna, to that extent they are progressing on the path to the supreme perfection. So, here Arjuna very unambiguously declares Krishna's overlordship of all of existence, and all of those who are considered overlords in this world. He point by using very universalist describers Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Jagatpate. So these are universalists because a Bhuta refers to all of existence. So he is the source of all of existence, he is the Lord of all of existence, he is the controller of all of existence, and he is the Lord of the universe. And in that way, he leaves no ambiguity about Krishna's supremacy. So the Bhagavad Gita is essentially, we could say, a quest for understanding two things, which is what everyone needs to understand ultimately when they are trying to move forwards, trying to progress towards certain goal in their lives. One is they need to understand what is the sadhan and what is the sadhya. What is it that is to be achieved and what is the means by which it is to be achieved. So, what is to be achieved? The sadhya is Krishna. That understanding Arjuna is stating very emphatically over several verses, and that Krishna has stated right in the beginning of Chatur Shloki in 10.8 when he says Aham Sarvasya Prabho. And now from this point onwards the sadhya will begin, and when Arjuna speaks about the sadhya, he will actually not just to say that bhakti is the supreme, which Krishna has talked about in 10.8, 9, 10 and 11, all three actually. Krishna doesn't focus only on the sadhya in Chatushloki as on the sadhana, and Arjuna will ask how this sadhana can be implemented in terms of how one can remember Krishna in this world. That will be what he asks in the next verse. Thank you.